Hey, good morning. So we go through a fertilizer calculation that'll be pretty extensive, but it's another option of if you've got NP and K that need to go out. So let me show you the question that we're going to go through first. So we're going through number 3 of you have a 1 acre test plot on the OSU agronomy farm that's in need of fertilizer. You run the soil test and find that you need 30 pounds of N, 15 pounds of phosphorus, and 21 pounds of potassium per acre. Your advisor tells you that the best fertilizer to use are urea, DAP, and potash. So how many pounds of each fertilizer will you need to buy in order to fulfill the recommendations for that 1 acre test plot? So I'm going to go through this. So the first thing that we need to start with, if we think about this, let's see, we've got urea. We could start with that. We're also using DAP, so maybe we could start with that, or potash. So if we actually look at what our nutrient guaranteed analysis is, our urea is 4600, our DAP is actually 1846, and our potash is 0060. Okay, so that's what we're working with. So if we look at these, remember, we're trying to decide which one of these do I need to calculate first. Do I need to calculate how much nitrogen, phosphorus, or potassium I need? So if we look back at how much we've got to put out, we need the recommendation is 30 pounds of N per acre, or we also need 15 pounds of P per acre, and our last recommendation was 21 pounds of K per acre. So we need phosphorus, we need potassium, and we need nitrogen. So if we look back over here, we can only get our potassium from our potash. So we'll be able to do that with one calculation. We can only get our phosphorus from our DAP. So we've got to use that. But we also get nitrogen from our DAP, and we also get nitrogen from our urea. So we'll use that as our starting point. Because we need phosphorus and we're using DAP, then we are going to start out with our DAP. So step 1, we're going to calculate our phosphorus. So our area that we're working with is 1 acre. So for our field, we've got 1 acre for the field size. We're going to calculate our phosphorus first, and our phosphorus recommendation is 15 pounds of phosphorus per 1 acre. Now we've got pounds of P, but we need to know how much DAP we've got to buy. So if we go through and put together our value, because there's 46% phosphorus in our DAP, then we get out of 1 pound of DAP, we get 0.46 pounds of phosphorus. So this is going to give us our DAP. The question just asks how many pounds, so we'll get to stop here. And that will give us 15 divided by 0.46. So our answer is 32.608. We're going to round that to 2 decimal places, so that'll become 32.61. And when we cross out our units, we end up with pounds of DAP for that field. Okay, so we've got how much DAP we need. The next part is we need to calculate the amount of nitrogen in our DAP. So we've still got, we're going to start here because this is how much DAP is recommended. So we've got 32.61 pounds of DAP. We're after the amount of nitrogen though in our DAP. So because of that, we need to use this set of values again, but we need to focus on our nitrogen currently. So in 1 pound of DAP, we've got 18% nitrogen in our DAP, so we've got 0.18 pounds of nitrogen in that 1 pound of DAP. So we're going to take that 32.61 and multiply by 0.18. And so we actually have 5 pounds and 0.87, so 5.87 pounds of nitrogen in our DAP. Let me cross that out. So our DAP has two nutrients. It has nitrogen and phosphorus. So it's got both of them in there. We also need to know how much nitrogen we're putting out. So we've got to know how much nitrogen we're getting from that DAP, so we're not buying too much urea, because then you're just going to waste money if you just buy the correct amount of urea, because you are getting some nitrogen already from your DAP. So we need to know how much total nitrogen we need so we can subtract this out and only buy the amount of urea we need. So step 3, we're going to take our nitrogen recommendation for 1 acre. So this is calculating our total nitrogen. So for 1 acre, our recommendation is 30 pounds of N per acre. So this one is pretty easy because we're only dealing with 1 acre, and because of that we just multiply across, divide by 1, which gives us 30 pounds of nitrogen that we need. So since we've already got 5.87 from our DAP, then we can subtract this 5.87, which is coming from here, pounds of N. This is going to give us 30 minus 5.87, which means we need to calculate how much urea we need to get 24.13 pounds of nitrogen, because this is how much we still need to get. We still need to buy this much nitrogen to get this 30 pounds of N per acre. So step 4, we're going to calculate how much urea we need. And so we know we need 24.13 pounds of nitrogen. And you're going to do this conversion factor right here, but for urea. So in 1 pound of urea, there is 0.46 pounds of nitrogen, because it's 46%, and so in 1 pound there's 40.46 pounds of N. And if you still have trouble just remembering that, if you need to do a calculation, then you can say there's 46% out of 100, so there's 46 pounds and 100 pounds. If I'm trying to do a cross multiply and divide for two ratios, and I want to know what's in 1 pound, then I can multiply these two numbers and get 46, divide by 100, and you get 0.46, which is where we're getting this. So at this point in time, this will give us how much urea we need to buy. So we're going to do that 24.13 divide by 0.46, and we need to buy 52.46 pounds of urea. Okay, so we've now calculated how much DAP we need to buy. We know how much urea we need to buy. So the last thing that we need to do at this point is step 5, which is calculate our potash. So for our potash recommendation, we have 21 pounds of K per acre. So we've got 1 acre. Our recommendation is 21 pounds of K per acre. And then we need that conversion factor for how much potassium is in a pound of potash. And so in 1 pound of potash, there is 0.60 pounds of K. And that's it. So we'll do 1 times 21, and then we're going to divide that by 0.6. So we need to purchase 35 pounds of potash. So that's it. We're done. We finished that entire problem. Great. So the question asked how many pounds of each fertilizer will you buy in order to fill the recommendation. So you are going to buy 32.61 pounds of DAP. You're going to buy 52.46 pounds of urea and 35 pounds of potash. And that's it. That is the solution for this problem. So hopefully that helps you figure out kind of those steps. Remember, to do any of this, you've got to set up a conversion. You've got to know how many pounds of that actual nutrient is in the fertilizer. So once you get that, then you just need to match up where these units are so that you can actually cross out your other units. So I hope that helps. If you have any other questions, please let me know. And y'all have a happy walk around tonight and a great homecoming tomorrow. And I will see you on Monday.